Welcome to the Sportscast, November 14th, 2022. If you haven't yet, please subscribe in all our channels: YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and Apple Podcast. You can also listen to us on your smart speaker. If you are listening on Apple Podcasts, please leave a rating and a review. It will help us out tremendously. We're also on online radio. You can listen to it on the sportscast.net, which you can see the news and the updates on sports. And you could follow us on Twitter at the Sportscast1 and check us out in our app, the Sportscast, for the latest and greatest. NFL Week 10. Wow. If I had to name a couple players that stood out, one of them for sure is Justin Jefferson from the Minnesota Vikings, who had a tremendous catch this past weekend. And of course, some other good players, but that game was definitely very noticeable. And the Steelers won. Joining us from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Joe Toscano. Welcome back to the Sportscast.
Thanks for having me back. Yeah, Justin Jefferson was amazing. That was maybe one of the performances of the year. It was the game of the year. Crazy week. Just about every team in the NFC North had a deficit of double digits going in the fourth quarter, and they won. It was amazing.
Amazing, a huge, amazing game. Also, not including the game in Germany, which we'll get into a little bit deeper. But Tampa and Tom Brady. Well, Tom Brady specifically does well internationally, and I think he's swept all the games. He's playing London, Mexico, and now Germany.
He's Mr. Worldwide. Move over. What's his face? What's his name? Whatever his name is. He's Tom Brady's new Mr. Worldwide.
You know, it's interesting because I always wonder if the fans that go to these international games, are they local fans or are they people coming from the States? We'll never know.
I was thinking of Pitbull. Tom Brady replaced Pitbull as Mr. Worldwide. I think it could be fans like you local fans going to vacation in Europe and doing that, but mostly I think it's just people that live in Europe that are Americans living in Europe, or maybe just fans of NFL teams. Because when you go see a game in England or Germany, it's not just Buccaneers and Seahawks fans. It's fans of all 32 teams all in one stadium. And apparently that Germany crowd was just awesome, and they were singing and having a great time. So great situation for the NFL in Germany.
It had more spirit than London, I thought, what I've heard. And they will have more games in Germany. Not sure in Munich specifically, because they have a lot of good stadiums in Germany. If you haven't watched the 2006 World Cup, I don't think you were a soccer fan back then.
No, I was. Well, actually, yeah, because all my life my dad was a fan of Team Italy. So yeah, I've been a soccer fan all my life, sort of.
And they're not in this World Cup, but that's another podcast to talk about. All right, Joe, are you ready to discuss Week 10 of NFL?
Let's do it.
All right, we'll begin with Germany. Of course, we just talked about it. Tampa Bay versus the Seahawks. Brady stays undefeated abroad by throwing 2 touchdown passes, Joe, to help Tampa Bay beat Seattle 21-16 in the first regular season game played in Germany. Brady connected with Julio Jones, yes, old man Julio, and Chris Godwin on scoring passes, and Leonard Fournette, Joe, ran one as the Bucs improved 5-5, improved to 500, and snapped Seattle's 4-game winning streak.
See, this is impressive for the Bucs. They looked good. I think it's funny that Tom Brady is 2-0 since announcing his divorce. So maybe that was the help that he needed to get better. I don't know, but this is just really weird because the Seahawks had to travel to go from Seattle to Germany. Is just such a toll on you, with jet lag and travel and stuff like that. So whenever it's hard to judge these European games because it's just different. It's just there's just something so different about the lag and the foreign country and all that stuff. So it's kind of hard to analyze these games.
Yeah, the Germans packed the Alliance Arena for the historic game. Brady completed 22 of 29 passes, 258 yards to add Germany to his list. He's 2-0 since the whole divorce announcement. Not sure if that's coincidence or conspiracy. Geno Smith was 23 of 33 for 275 yards and 2 touchdowns for the Seahawks. Joe, Seahawks 4-game winning streak. Is this a red flag, or hey, they're playing against Tampa in Germany? Brady's a little bit more hyped up.
Yeah, I think this is just a fluke. Seattle is still a really it's shocking to say that they're a really good team, but they are. They're a solid good team. It was very interesting that the Tampa defense just shut down Kenneth Walker. That might be a little bit concerning, but I think no worries for the Seahawks.
I have Kenneth Walker in my fantasy team.
Oh, you're lucky.
Okay. Another big game. I think Tampa Bay's game was definitely in the top 3 in my opinion. This game was number 1 for Joe and I's list. They beat Buffalo in Buffalo 33-30. Keep in mind, Josh Allen had an issue with his elbow. So coming in, he could have sat out, but he came into play. The Vikings won in overtime 33-30. Cousins threw for 357 yards, and Jefferson had a monster game. Had a 22-yard touchdown, Joe, catch on Vikings' first possession. But the most amazing of his many highlights was a 32-yard grab on 4th and 18 on Minnesota's final drive of regulation. They won the game. Is this a lot to say? What are your thoughts over this game?
Game of the year. It was absolutely amazing. It looked like it looked like the Vikings were going to win. They had the ball like on the 1, and Dalvin Cook dropped a pass, and that really hurt them. And then Cousins couldn't sneak it in on 4th and goal. So it's like, okay, well, I tweeted, it's like, whoa, the Buffalo Bills escaped this one. Phew. And then the very next play, they fumble in the end zone, and the Vikings pick it up, and they go ahead 30-27, and that gave Josh Allen like 40 seconds to go downfield, which is nothing for him. That's easy peasy. So they score the field goal. They take it to overtime. Vikings kick the field goal, and Josh Allen gets intercepted, and that was it. But the thing is, the Vikings, I thought, were a fluke and were not as good as their record, and I stand corrected. They're good. When you go into Buffalo and beat the Bills, the number 1 team or the number 2 team, no, they're legit.
Legit as in Super Bowl contenders?
Ooh, hey, why not? Why not? I mean, all the credit, everybody's talking about Justin Jefferson, but you got to credit Kirk Cousins because he is making those good throws for Justin Jefferson. So when you have an elite wide receiver, Dalvin Cook is very good, and Kirk Cousins is good enough. That's a strong offense, and their defense is pretty good too. Yeah, maybe they are a Super Bowl contender.
Would you ever go topless and put the little necklace he did, Kirk Cousins, in an airplane flight back to Minnesota?
Oh yeah. Oh, definitely. If the Steelers like go to the Super Bowl or something like that, I'm totally doing the Kirk Cousins topless look.
As Joe said, they're on top of the NFC North, so they're definitely feeling comfortable with just one loss. So we'll see what happens with this Minnesota team. A lot of question marks, but maybe answered by yesterday. We'll see what happens. Anyways, Chicago, Detroit, NFC. No. North rivals. Jamal Williams scored on a 1-yard touchdown in closing minutes. Jared Goff threw for 236 yards and a touchdown. And Detroit overcame another dazzling effort by Justin Fields, who ran for 147 yards and 2 scores, but was not enough. Detroit beat Chicago 31-30. Your thoughts over this match, Joe?
Both teams are they're no longer pathetic jokes. They are still bad, but they're showing signs of hope. And the biggest thing for the Bears is Justin Fields is becoming a star. And that's all they wanted out of this year, is to see Justin Fields develop, and he has. He is I thought Lamar Jackson would be the greatest running quarterback of all time, but Justin Fields is better than him. He's putting up better numbers. It is amazing. So if they could have Justin Fields mature, then that's all this season is worth to them, and that's good for them. But hey, hand it to the Lions. They figured out a way to win. They're putting up good offense, so good on them.
Lions St. Brown had 119 yards receiving. Brock Wright caught a touchdown. Lions won on the road for the first time since beating the Bears at Soldier Field in December 2020. Another game the Broncos lost against Tennessee only by 7 points. Ryan Tannehill returning after missing the last 2 games with a sprained ankle by throwing 2 touchdown passes to Nick Westbrook-Ikhine as the Titans rally from a 10-point deficit to beat the Broncos 7-10 on Sunday. Closer game than I thought. Maybe the Broncos are improving.
No, they're not. The Broncos are still a mess. The Broncos have statistically the best defense and the worst offense. It is so one-sided. It's ridiculous. And they have a real problem with Russell Wilson. I don't know if he's hurt. I don't know if he's old. I don't know what's going on, but they're stuck with him for a long time, and he is bad. The Denver offense is bad. If they just were okay, if they put up 17 points a game, they'd be 7-2 right now. That's ridiculous. That's pathetic. Good on the Titans. They have their formula of running and defense, and they have a strong defense and a great running game, and Tannehill's in there, so he's good enough to get the offense going. So if Tennessee keeps this up, they're gonna win a lot of games. But boy, the Broncos are just a mess.
You said good enough. Interesting. Henry, which is the offense's run through at Tennessee, held for 53 yards on 19 carries, snapping the NFL rushing leader streak of 5 straight 100-yard rushing games. So not the best game for Henry, but it is what it is. It's a win. Kansas City 27, Jacksonville 17. Tony made his debut, had a touchdown, had 33 yards rushing to go with 4 catches for 57 yards and his first NFL touchdown reception. Travis Kelce, Marquez Valdes-Scantling, and Noah Gray all contributed, had touchdown catches. Isaiah Pacheco, he's rising there, ran for 82 yards as the Chiefs beat the Jaguars for the 6th straight time. Oh, sorry, Jaguars. Kansas City took over, Joe.
Yeah, Jacksonville's another team that they're kind of like the Lions and the Bears. They're bad, but they're signs of hope. So, they're hopefully just trying to get a little bit better. But the thing about the Chiefs is people are mad. How did you let the Chiefs get Kadarius Toney? That's basically like reacquiring Tyreek Hill. This could be explosive. This could be a disaster for the rest of the league. This is like giving nuclear weapons to a small nation or something like that. I mean, the Chiefs' offense was good before, but this could be really scary. Tony could put up big numbers
with Tony, Joe, and the Chiefs having the best record in the AFC, and the Bills losing yesterday. Would you say Kansas City is the top favorite in the AFC?
Yeah, because the Bills aren't even first in their own division. They're third in their own division. So
I didn't see that coming.
Me neither. There's really no one else. I mean, the Ravens are behind them, and the Jets and Dolphins are maybe the Dolphins. They're looking really good too. So maybe the Dolphins can get that number 1 seed. But yeah, it's really at this point the Chiefs to lose.
Perfect segue. Miami beat Cleveland 39-17. Everyone was scared. Jacoby Brissett. No, Tua has Waddle and Hill. They were fantastic in the game. In the fourth quarter, Tagovailoa connected with 3 receivers, Joe, for his 3rd straight 3-touchdown performance. Tua finished with 285 yards on 25 of 32 passing. Jeff Wilson rushed for 119 yards on 17 carries as the Dolphins finished with 491 yards of offense. Joe, what happened to the concussion?
Tua had the best game of his life. He is looking amazing. You just can't say enough good things about this Dolphins team and this Dolphins offense. He is looking amazing, and credit them. They realized their running backs were not good enough, so they went out and acquired Jeff Wilson. That, teams like the Chiefs and the Dolphins that realize they could get someone else, and they go get them. And usually, I don't know what they gave up, but probably some late draft pick or something like that. They help them right now. It's so invaluable, and Jeff Wilson might be that final piece to make a really good Dolphins offense even better.
Yeah, I would definitely say Miami has that eye for talent. They're putting the pieces together. And I'm pretty happy. But give credit to Cleveland. Jacoby Brissett completed 22 of 35 passes for 212 yards and 1 touchdown against one of his former teams. I forgot he played for the Dolphins for a bit. Nick Chubb had 11 carries for 63 yards, including a 33-yard touchdown in the fourth quarter. Jalen Waddle had 4 receptions for 66 yards for Miami. And Tyreek Hill had 5 passes, 5 catches for 44 yards, including a 2-yard touchdown catch in the third quarter. This Miami team definitely is moving up. Playoffs, I definitely smell it. Another win for the Giants, 24-16 against Houston. But who can't beat Houston? Saquon Barkley, which is another Derrick Henry type of player, carried a career high 35 times for 152 yards and scored a touchdown as a surprising Giants return from their bye week and win against Houston. No, it can't be surprising. It's the Texans. Anyone can beat the Texans.
Yeah, but credit to the Giants for not overcomplicating it. The Texans had the worst run defense, and the Giants have one of the best running attacks. So they basically said, well, if you're weak against the run, we'll just give it to Saquon Barkley every single time, and that's basically what they did. So they kept it simple. This really wasn't a doubt. So yeah, credit to the Giants for not being dumb.
We'll run through this trend. Davis Mills, quarterback of the Texans, threw a 12-yard touchdown pass to Nico Collins. Kaime Fairbairn kicked field goals of 38, 34, and 46 yards, which is pretty good for Houston, which has lost 4 straight games. We'll see what happens with Houston. Another question mark. Can anyone beat New Orleans? Apparently, yes. Pittsburgh beat New Orleans. Kenny Pickett and George Pickens ran for 1-yard touchdowns, and Pittsburgh rejuvenated defense. The one with Watts, number 91, again, a blur coming off the edge, shut down the Saints in a 20-10 victory that provided fuel to Watts' belief. There's still time for the Steelers to make something out of 2022. Joe, is there time for the Steelers to turn things around?
There actually is, because the Steelers' schedule in the second half is very weak. And what a difference TJ Watt makes. He makes the Steelers defense very good all of a sudden, and all they need is for the offense to be just okay. And it was. Kenny Pickett is still learning. He's still making mistakes. He's a rookie. He's getting through it, but still the offense is able to move. They're able to stay on the field and take some time off the clock. So yeah, this is good, but New Orleans is just not that good. I don't know what's wrong with them. You're running Andy Dalton out there. That's not a good sign.
That's not a good sign. Andy Dalton connected on 17 of 27 for 174 yards with a touchdown and 2 late picks. Kenny Pickett completed 18 of 30 passes for 199 yards without an interception. Bolded. Your thoughts on Pickett's performance? Do you think this is like the game he deserves to, hey, I am the real deal?
Well, that's a big thing because he has thrown so many interceptions in previous games. And I think that's what they're just asking him. It's like, hey, okay, maybe you're not awesome yet, but just don't mess up. Just don't throw the interceptions. And, maybe that's a winning formula because they had a pretty strong rushing attack too. So, maybe copy what, the Titans are doing and the Giants. Just have a strong rushing attack, a good defense, and then just do enough on offense to win games.
One quarterback that says that he's still awesome, Matt Ryan, completed a 35-yard pass to Paris Campbell with 5 minutes, 7 seconds left Sunday to give the Colts a 25-20 victory over the Raiders. And Jeff Saturday, a former ESPN analyst, says his first victory as interim coach. Hey, if I was going to be hired as a coach, I would love to play against the Raiders.
Oh my goodness! What a crazy situation. The Colts were the talk of the week because of what they did with Jeff Saturday, but the big surprise was bringing back Matt Ryan. I thought this was when they benched him. I thought it was a permanent benching. Here's what I think happened. I think they were so embarrassed by the whole Jeff Saturday thing and how the league reacted and how everybody reacted that they said we can't really because I think it was obvious they were tanking. They said we can't tank anymore. We have to make this just guy look good because people are so mad that he was hired. So I think that's why they brought back Matt Ryan. But my goodness, the Raiders. Oh my God. You lost to the Colts? What is going on? The Raiders are so low right now. I really think they should. I know they just signed McDaniels to a contract, but they need to get rid of him. He's not a head coach, and this is a pathetic team. They're gone way past imploding. They're rubble right now.
And here's the thing with Josh McDaniel. Like, he went to a Raiders team, a good Raiders team with players, Derek Carr and Devontae Adams. There's no excuse. This team on paper looks great.
They were in the playoffs last year.
Exactly.
And they just added Devontae Adams, and it just all fell apart. Yeah, look, McDaniels he is no coach. He's no head coach.
If McDaniels went to Houston, totally understandable. I'll give him 5 years to fix that. But anyways, Derek Carr completed 24-38 passes for 248 yards and 2 touchdowns. Not enough. We'll see where this Indianapolis is going. They're not tanking apparently, but it could be just the Raiders. I don't know. Jeff Saturday, could he be the best coach to look at for the press conference now?
That'll be interesting, but it just reminds me of that show Ted Lasso. It really just reminds me of Ted Lasso. A guy has no idea what he's doing, and he goes to coach a team. So hey, maybe they'll rally around him.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Jeff Saturday, definitely when I see a TV personality that goes into a different industry, they're definitely good with communication. So we'll see what happens. Another big game, probably in my trinity of yesterday or this past weekend, Cowboys losing in Green Bay. They always lose in Green Bay. I can't remember the last time Dallas won in Green Bay. Aaron Rodgers threw 3 touchdown passes, Joe, to rookie Christian Watson. I have him in my fantasy team, and led a 55-yard drive in overtime to set up a Mason Crosby game-winning 28-yard field goal, and the Packers stopped a 5-game skid on a 31-28 win over former coach Mike McCarthy, his first time back in Green Bay for years, and Dallas Cowboys on Sunday. Unbelievable. These two teams are a rivalry. I think, Joe, your thoughts over this matchup?
I love when these two teams get together because they've had the same uniforms that they've had for decades. I love that old school look. This game may have saved the Packers season. They desperately needed this, and they also desperately needed Christian Watson. Might have saved the whole team if he emerges as their top wide receiver or a wide receiver threat. That's all Aaron Rodgers needs, and that's what this offense needs to get going. So they maybe have unlocked the key to the season. I don't know what to say about the Cowboys. They're still good, but I don't know what happened. They neutralized Micah Parsons, which is really interesting. Micah Parsons really did nothing in this game, so that's very interesting. But still, just the Packers desperately needed this, and they got it.
Yeah, and Zeke did not play at all. I think it was hours before when they announced that he was not going to play in this this Packers game. So we'll see what happens with the Cowboys. It's tough to play in Green Bay, so give them some flag. They're 6-3. Arizona, both quarterbacks were injured. Matt Stafford had a concussion, was in a concussion protocol. Murray had a bad hamstring. They returned a Colt McCoy playing for Arizona, passed for 238 yards in his first start of the season. James Conner rushed for 2 touchdowns, and Arizona hung for a 27-17 victory Sunday over the Rams, who lost Super Bowl MVP Cooper Kupp to a possible serious knee injury. Your thoughts, Joe?
When the season started, I thought one of the teams, the Rams or the Bengals, were going to have a Super Bowl hangover. I thought it was the Bengals. Wrong. It's the Rams. The Rams are in serious Super Bowl hangover mode. This just goes to show that you need a good, not a great backup quarterback, but just a good enough. Colt McCoy is just, he's good. He's been around forever. Whoever this Walford dude is, every time he's in there, he's absolutely horrible, and that's really why the Rams lost. So, yeah, I mean, I'm not very high on the Cardinals, but the Rams are just their season's lost, and if Cooper Kupp's done, then they're really in trouble.
Yeah, man, said it out. John Walford, who was the backup quarterback for the Rams, he passed for 212 yards in an inconsistent performance, as Joe implied, for the defending champions, who went out 3-6, dead last, lost for the fifth time in 6 games. So we'll see what happens with Kupp. I think he might be out for the season. I think it's a serious knee injury. We'll probably find out a little bit later today, or maybe the news might break within the show. Sunday Night Football, Chargers not having a great season. I see lost against the Niners, who got Christian McCaffrey, ran for the go-ahead touchdown with 7 minutes and 54 seconds to play, and the Niners pitched a second-half shutout to beat the Chargers 22-16 on Sunday Night Football in their first game back from a bye week. So these teams coming back from a bye week, they're winning. All I know is 2 that won. I don't know the others. I know because there was a huge bye again. Garoppolo went 19 for 28, Joe, for 240 yards, while San Francisco relied heavily on the ground game, rushing 41 times for 157 yards and defense. Is it going to be the offense running through McCaffrey from now on, Joe?
Not just McCaffrey, but really right now they have all of their offensive weapons healthy, which is very rare for the 49ers. And this is what they want to do. This is the game they want to play. Heavy run attack, good defense. Jimmy G doing just enough. This is the prototypical 49ers game, and especially how now that they have Christian McCaffrey, they have a superstar running back, but they also have other good running backs and other good wide receivers. So it's going to be real interesting to see how the 49ers do. They may go very far this season. And the Chargers, we say this every single year. Every single year, it's the same thing. They get a lot of hype at the beginning of the season. They get hurt, and then they stink. Not they stink, but they're disappointing. This is what the Chargers do every single year. It's just they're consistent in their inconsistency.
Look at the standings. Even though the AFC West is pretty weak with the Broncos and Raiders, they are number 2 in the AFC West. So they're 5-4, number 2 in the AFC West. So we'll see what happens with the Chargers. Not sure for threat Herbert. He had 22 for 35 for 196 yards with a touchdown pass. So we'll see what happens. You said, how deep can the Niners go? Like you said, they're going to go somewhere. How deep you think another NFC Championship game? Or?
Very possible.
Wow.
Very possible. I mean, they have the experience. They've been there before. They were in a Super Bowl. They were in an NFC Championship game. They're built for deep playoff runs, and they have everything they need now for another deep playoff run. So it would not surprise me in the least if that happens.
Yeah, and definitely Garoppolo staring down the skeptics. Is he a QB1? Is he worthy? A franchise quarterback? And I think he's proven it. So we'll see what happens with the Garoppolo in the next upcoming weeks. Deshaun Watson comes back week 13. That's in about 3 weeks. He can practice today, Joe. What do you think? I mean, obviously, he'll probably start by week 13, which they play. The Browns play against the Texans when Watson comes back.
I'm sure that was just an amazing coincidence. Deshaun Watson will play, as soon as he's eligible. But at that point, who cares? I mean, the Browns, they're 3-6. They're almost in last place. Who knows what they're going to do for the next 4 games? But they look like the Browns look lost. So it won't matter probably when Deshaun Watson comes back. Even if he plays the last 5 games or whatever, like it might be too little, too late.
Tonight, Monday Night Football, the undefeated Philadelphia Eagles host the Washington Washington Commanders. Commanders has had a good run these past couple of weeks. I say Philadelphia is going to win tonight, Joe, but Washington could pull an upset. There's always that possibility. But what do you think will happen tonight in Philly?
It's possible for an upset because these teams, they're division teams, so they know each other very well, and it's almost like a rivalry game. But still, the Eagles look unstoppable right now. They're not perfect. They have their flaws, but right now they're just so good on offense and defense. I don't see them losing for a while.
Love to see them play against a good team like Buffalo, Kansas City. Just have good measurements of where they're at. Even Minnesota. Like to see what happens there. So tonight, Monday, night football, 8 p.m. 8:20 p.m. Eastern kickoff. We'll see what Heineke does against the Eagles. Poll question of the day, Joe: what goes best with pickles? Options are sandwiches, salads, hot dogs, or burgers. What is your choice?
I hate pickles, which is weird because Pittsburgh is known for its pickles. Because Heinz makes pickles, and we have a Pickleberg festival in the summer where we shut down a bridge and everybody just has pickle related activities. Somebody offered me pickle juice once, and while I was running, I almost threw up. But anyway, I do not like pickles, but yeah, I think they go best on burgers.
Burgers, I agree. I think all of them are good choices. I mean, I like them on my salads.
Ew.
If you go to Subway, they have that option. So I go to Subway a lot, and I order like the little protein bowl, lettuce, no bread or anything, and I had pickles. It really adds that touch to it.
Interesting.
It's like banana peppers in a way, but anyways, Joe, what is the best way to reach you online to talk to you about the best sandwiches places to eat at in Pittsburgh?
Joey Bag of Donuts V and 7F. Permanis is what Pittsburgh is known for in terms of sandwiches because they put the fries and the coleslaw in the sandwich. So that's like the famous Pittsburgh thing. We put fries in everything. We love our fries and we love our pickles.
I love that. I love fries in my burgers, my sandwiches, whatever. It's really good. Which there is a Permanis nearby locally to me. I've not been back. I think it's been 2 years. COVID kind of took a break on me on that. So hopefully I'll be back soon. Special announcement: this in the next 4 weeks, the Sportscast will be covering the World Cup, and we'll be having special guests on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We'll have different soccer analysts going forward and see what's going to happen in the biggest sporting event in the world, in my opinion. Maybe it's undisputed opinion. So we won't see Joe till the end of December to recap week 15 or whatever. But stay tuned every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday around 12 p.m. And we'll be covering, actually 1 p.m. We'll be covering everything going on with the group stage, who's going to win the World Cup, and going through the knockout stage. And I think it's going to be Argentina, if you're asking me. So stay tuned on the Sportscast. We're going full World Cup coverage. Odd time of the year. Why is it happening now? Well, Qatar is pretty hot in June and July, so they had to move it in November, December. So that is why the World Cup is going on at the same time as the NFL, and that makes Joe not visible in the next 4 weeks. That's why.
They should let the NFL players play in the World Cup for Team USA.
That'll be
imagine a team with like Justin Jefferson and Stephon Diggs and Tyreek Hill and Josh Allen on a team. That'd be a really good soccer team.
We will win. Like I'm really serious because like these other countries, soccer is their number one sport. They put all their resources, their best players or athletes in these leagues. If we did that for us with Justin Jefferson as a forward, or maybe a Josh Allen as a midfielder, we will win the World Cup.
Or even basketball, like put LeBron in his prime on a soccer team, he would dominate.
I had that long conversation with a friend of mine from Philly, and we definitely agree on that. But anyways, you can reach us at thesportscast.net for any more information about our World Cup coverage, also any news. Tomorrow we have Sports Talk 101. You can look at our Twitter, the Sportscast1 on Twitter and also on Instagram. So we got a lot of sports coming up. College football is also brewing up for these conference championship games, and of course we'll definitely stay in touch with the NFL, of course. Anyways, Joe, always a pleasure, and I'll see you in a few weeks.
Go USA.
Let's go.